The truth of God's Word is truth, and yet the way in which you can share it can be done in a wide variety of ways.
We've taken a modern style, but we have tried to embrace every page of the Bible and every topic that people are dealing with. The core exists to connect with people who don't already have a connection with Jesus. So everything we do, the way I communicate, the way we approach worship is trying to show people how good God is who maybe don't believe it just yet. We sometimes call it 200 proof grace and truth. Like, we want to 100% love people with God's grace, but we never want to water down the truth.
The culture at the core makes it inviting for outsiders or even non-church goers because they're not met with that traditional sense of what they perceive church being when they walk in. It's not intimidating. It feels comfortable.
I suppose our expectation is that you don't have to come in with like a bachelor's in church. So I don't want them to need to know everything. I want them to come just as they are, and hopefully when they get here, everything is clear enough that we can communicate with them. We talk about, from parking lot to parking lot. So even before I get up to talk, we've really trained our people and our volunteers. Like, we want people to have a great experience, to feel welcomed, recognized, loved, comfortable before they even get into church and pick a seat. So that's our hope. People may be nervous coming to church for the first time, and they can just take a deep breath and just feel comfortable because they're treated well. And then hopefully that opens the door for us to talk about more important things.
It's a judgment-free zone. Everybody's here to worship and to support. They do life together.
We're a congregation. I'm amazed at the brokenness that people share here. If you think that you're the only one going through something, chances are you'll talk to someone who's open enough and you'll realize that you're not.
One of the things I adore about our church is that we get people who come in with some pretty outwardly messy lives. I mean, I think we all have our own mess, but some of us are better at hiding it. We have a ton of people from the recovery community. I mean, multiple people this past week that I've talked to that have wrestled with sexual sin, meth use, heroin. And lots of times people that come from those circles, they don't have a nice suit to wear to church. And so just to have an environment when the first time they step into the building, they don't feel like an outsider, but they feel like they fit in, just come in with their friend to church, is really, really important to me. What you wear will never change someone's heart, but maybe it can help that person take a deep breath so they're not thinking about how they're underdressed when I'm trying to tell them about Jesus.
You get answers to a lot of tough questions when you come to the core. And that's real important because a lot of times you won't get that at a conventional service.
He just has a very good gift at communicating and engaging and really presenting the message in a way that everyone understands.
One of the most awesome things about Pastor Mike is that he's never afraid to admit that he too is a human being. And that is what makes his messages so pertinent and so easy to understand.
There's a great love for Pastor Mike. I think amongst all the boys, just the feedback that I get from them is the level of time that he spends in research and in communicating to us what can be complex things relatively easily.
From a kid perspective, it's way easier to understand everything coming from Pastor Mike's mouth. He really explains it, lays it out, and also adds in stories and adventures of his own that tie the whole message together.
He inspires us to get into the Bible ourselves, inspires and motivates us. I don't know that I had that burning passion to do that until he inspired us and challenged us to do that.
We know that Mike, from a preaching standpoint, we knew he was great. From that openness standpoint, we knew that was true of him. And then the other key important ingredient is you have to love people, and you have to love people who don't know Jesus. And we knew he was passionate about that. It was obvious that he loved to help people who were hurting and speak to people about Jesus who didn't know him.